Your hometown station real estate and financial guides are back on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS, to share with you what you need to know in order to navigate the sometimes confusing markets and guide you toward financial wellness. Reach out to them for advice at 855-DON-GINO. And now back to your hosts, Don Getling and Gino Franti.
All right. I'm going to ask you to please do yourself a favor and reach out to us with those questions at 855-DON-GINO, 855-DON-GINO. I hope you remember it maybe. But, yeah, reach out to us. You can also email us if you want to be a little more discreet and say, hey, I got these questions, or I need help buying or selling a home. I need to refinance. I need to do whatever. We got the experts to help you. Go to donandgino@gmail.com. There's a theme here.
Should be pretty simple.
That's right. So you can still join us in the chat room. We got this last wonderful segment with Carol Anderson with RE/MAX, one of the top real estate professionals in all of Santa Clarita for years now, 20 years now, just taking names and helping people buy and sell homes. I love that. And she's giggling because you're just so modest. You just go out there and just do your job, huh?
I just thought you forgot the first part of that.
I think it was an intentional pause.
Right.
You notice that?
It's like his lips were moving, but nothing came out.
I'm like, I'm on the air. I can't say that. So before I forget anymore, it's that age thing. I hate it when that happens. But it is, speaking of age, it is one of my good friends and one of my success partners for now since been working with this wonderful lady since 1988. That's right, since 1988. And on my right hand person for almost 14 years now, Miss Sue Hunter. Happy birthday, Sue!
Woohoo! Happy birthday, Sue!
Happy 49th again.
Happy birthday.
Sue, you're awesome, amazing. You've been a great friend and just have helped my business all these years. Couldn't do it without you. Happy birthday, dear.
Oh, that's cool. Shannon, next year, you'll be able to play the music, right?
Yes, and way to go, Shannon. Shannon Foz has become our show producer now, and she's doing a great job running the board today. Woohoo! And we want to throw a shout out to AP Productions. They are going to make us look so good. I don't know how they can possibly airbrush me, with video, but we'll ask them to do it. But
and Furman, just to clarify, my wife did say something about the hair. We need to move the camera down, for sure.
It's funny, Furman always laughs. He goes, why is he so sensitive about his bald spot? Dude, it's just age. Get over it. You see, Gino's a puppy in the house.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, so we teased you a little bit right before the break. Before we go away, we want to share with you something that you really need to pay attention to, because when you go to look for a real estate professional to work with to either buy or sell your home, there's one aspect that people you don't realize how important it is, and really I think it's the most important factor. For Gino, when he figures out your numbers for purchasing, it's doing a total cost analysis, figuring out what your true cost of financing is, and that's what Gino's so good at. For real estate, the one thing you really need is somebody who's so experienced and excellent at negotiating skills. And Carol Anderson has incredible negotiating skills. This is where she shines. She goes, I don't do radio, I don't do this, but I can negotiate. Wouldn't you agree that how important is that? I mean, going in that you're ready to go. You got both gloves on and you go toe to toe for your clients.
Well, I think it's makes all the difference on their bottom line.
Which is what it's all about, isn't it?
Right.
Now, it's not only negotiating the price initially. I'm going to bring that up because there's sometimes 3, 4, 5 stages of negotiation in a real estate transaction. It's after you do this inspection and after you do that inspection and when the appraisal comes in and when we found this thing, when we found that thing. And even after, sometimes even at the final walkthrough, there's a last-minute negotiation. I know that one this week. There was,
yep.
There was one this week at the final walkthrough. The dishwasher was broken. I was like, at the final walkthrough, it's just a dishwasher. I was like, no, I'm not going to sign my loan docs till they give me a couple $100. I'm like, all right. So you see those things happen, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and often, not often. How often do you say that there's more than just the initial price negotiation?
Well, I think it's not just necessarily about price. It also comes down to if you have multiple buyers, you may have a buyer who has 20% down. You may have another buyer that has, is a VA. I mean, it doesn't mean because the other buyer has 20% down that they're always the best candidate. So I think that there's a lot to be said about, a buyer being difficult sometimes.
Well, okay, there you go. That's again the negotiation, your gut, and with experience. When you're done, well over 1,500 transactions, you have to have a gut. I know we do when people call us and go, "Oh yeah, my credit score is perfect," and then you start asking other questions like,
Right.
The one that I love the most is, well, there was this one thing, and I'm like, oh, that means it's going to be 20 pages of collections.
Yeah.
they admitted to one thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But you recognizing those one things can save your buyers, your seller, just an absolute nightmare. Like you said, it comes across, or in who it comes from, has to say a lot about whether you're going to accept that offer on behalf of your seller, because a lot of times they think, oh, the best offer, the most down, or whatever. But if you've never heard of the real estate agent, haven't even heard of the real estate company, they're from out of the area, we know what nightmares that is caused for a lot of our sellers. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I just negotiated. It was my listing, and may I say his name, the agent?
Yeah, sure, if you want.
Okay. Well, I'll
Let's just say
another agent.
Another agent.
We'll be politically correct today.
Works at a competitive real estate company.
Oh, I know it is now.
You do?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, he brought an offer on my listing, and his buyer's contingent. Probably better that I don't say who the agent is.
First name rhyme with bike.
Right. But I mean, what was nice about it is then I had another offer coming in from another agent, and but it had not come in yet, and that agent had already expressed to me, oh, my buyers are going to want this, that, or the other, and frankly, I was just like, we should go with this, offer from this agent because, one, I've known him forever. Granted his buyers are contingent, but they're putting, quite a bit down. I mean, it just worked out, and it just, the transaction is only beginning, but I feel confident that we will close it. So.
Well, we all know which agents or lending companies that we probably would rather steer away from. And I'm not pointing names anyway. It's just whether it's not even always the loan officer's fault or the real estate person's fault. There's a lot of factors that go into play, but the ones that are very experienced, that when there's bumps in the road. And I'm sorry, but this is real estate. There will be stuff that will come up one way or another. Gino, I love that you brought up the other 4, 5, 6 stages that a real estate agent helps you with, because everybody does up front think it's all about what can you get me into this home for, or what can you sell my home for. They don't think about all these other factors that you need a strong, educated, and agent that can negotiate on your behalf, because it's key when something goes wrong. Say the appraisal, like you said, comes in low. Say there's an issue with the inspection. You need somebody on your side, just like a great lawyer on your side. It's no different. You don't want the public defendant helping you. You want the lawyer that gets paid for a reason. That's why you get paid, because you do a great job, Carol.
Right. Well, thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you for being a great spokesperson for our industry. You do a great job. You have an impeccable reputation, and we love that you just love what you do and you love helping people.
That I do.
And many times, over and over and over. So let's close this out. Carol was very good about bringing up some things that you need, the questions you need to ask, because it isn't all about price. And it's asking about affordability, asking those questions about what areas are good for you based on your particular goals. What price range is good based on your particular goals?
Something we almost never talk about, but it's wrapped up in that same affordability and cost conversation that we talk about a lot on commercial properties is, deferred maintenance. Is the home going to have a cost over the next 5 years relative to another home? So that's something else to look at as well.
Good stuff. Well, Carol, thank you for enlightening us with some great information today.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Gino.
Again,
thanks for being
here. How can they get a hold of you?
661-406-7568, or you can go to my website, www.lerelocation.com.
All right, Carol Anderson with Remax, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Shannon, for doing a great job. Our production crew of AP Productions, Furman and George. Thank you, Gino. Great show today.
It's great. I guess we're going to close the door to the vault now.
That's right. It's closing now. Joe Messina coming up.